And we are live.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going, everybody?
So we're going to connect with all the accounts.
And then we'll get started today. So we'll talk about all of those topics that are on there. So thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Jennifer.
That's our mascot.
Yeah, we have a mascot. We have a dog here with a bark collar on, so you'll be hearing that. What's up, Nye? So welcome. And what's up, Felix? Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Connecting the accounts.
He is connecting everything, so we're kind of... How's it going, Jennifer? So thank you for joining us today. It's really exciting. What is going on, Felix? So very happy that you're here. So I want to hear your thoughts on some movies. We haven't talked in a while, so I need to hear what you think of some of these more recent movies that have come out. So it's been a minute. So Todd is just linking up all the other accounts because he has a couple on there. Hey, from Italy. How's it going? So we have someone from Italy. So thank you so much for joining. It's very exciting. Hello, Anna. So welcome. And he's also going to be looking at his phone throughout this whole thing to any questions or comments or things you want to talk about. He will kind of make sure we don't miss anything. So what we're talking about is what's happened in TV and film this week, Weekly Nerd News, and then we're also talking about live action comics and a little bit about that. So we're kind of doing both parts together this time instead of kind of splitting it up into two. So thank you guys so much for being patient. We're just about to get started. So actually, Anna, that's what we're going to talk about. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So ready to roll?
Yeah, let's go.
Perfect. All right, let's get into it. So, first little bit of news. Tommy Lee Jones is in talks to star with Brad Pitt in the sci-fi movie Ad Astra, which is kind of interesting. It's the working title for this futuristic sci-fi epic that begins in September. So Pitt is playing a slightly autistic space engineer named Roy McBride 20 years after his father left on a one-way mission to Neptune in order to find signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. McBride travels through the solar system to find him and understand why his mission failed. Thoughts? It seems like a lot of stuff on top of a lot of stuff. Like, I don't understand why he has to be autistic as a space engineer. And then also find his dad. It seems like a lot of stuff going on, so...
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So, yeah, it kind of almost sounds like Interstellar a little bit, too.
Yeah, a little bit, but with autistic.
Yeah, with
thrown in. I really don't know how to process that.
I'm not really sure what to do. Yeah, what's eating Gilbert Grape in space? Yeah, exactly. Or like his character from 12 Monkeys, if he knew space stuff.
Something of that nature.
So with Comic-Con less than a month away, a lot of companies are announcing what they're bringing to panels. FX is heading to San Diego this year with Legion, Archer, and The Strain. Those are going to be the ones. So if you're going to Comic-Con, look out for those. It's Strain's final season. So I think Guillermo del Toro will be there to kind of promote all of that.
I need to catch up on The Strain.
Yeah. It is interesting. I didn't really know what I thought about it. Yeah, Legion, I'm looking forward to Legion.
Yeah.
Next, so from George R.R. Martin, so you Game of Thrones fan, Sci-Fi has greenlit a pilot called Night Flyers for like his short novella. And it's based on his novella as well as the film by the same name of 1987. So now this is set in the future on the eve of Earth's destruction, spoiler alert, in the hope of making contact with alien life. 8 maverick scientists and a powerful telepath embark on an expedition to the edge of our solar system aboard the Night Flyer, a ship with small, tight-knit crew and a reclusive captain. But when a terrifying and violent events begin to take place, they start to question one another, and surviving the journey proves harder than anyone thought. How do you make this into a show? It seems like it would have a definite ending. Yeah. It kind of seems like they all die a little bit by a little bit. It's kind of like Firefly, but murdery. So it'll be. I don't know how they can.
That's kind of his style.
How they can make a show, like how MTV made Stabby Star Trek. I like that. That's pretty much.
Star Trek.
It's kind of like when they made Scream a show. I watched it and I'm like, I can't believe this is still going on, but. This, I don't know how it's going to last. So, next, talking about Aquaman. So, new casting news. Third Watch's Michael Beach is set for a role in Aquaman. He joins, I didn't know that this was the cast, so if you guys knew this, I apologize. But Amber Heard, Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, Patrick Wilson, Ludi Lin, Dolph Lundgren is going to be in this. So now Warner Brothers is saying Beach will play Jesse Kane, part of a group of high seas hijackers with a fateful interaction with Aquaman. But fans think he's going to take on the role of the father to Abdul Mateen II's Black Manta.
That is a good cast.
So that should be interesting. So we're seeing what Warner Brothers is saying, and Beach is kind of being like mum about which role he's actually playing.
Yeah.
So big congratulations to Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, or Gadot, however you say her name, where... Gadot? Is it?
Yeah.
Where Wonder Woman is now the highest grossing female-directed movie of all time.
I know.
So it just beat it this week, I believe this weekend. It beat Mamma Mia from 2008. So it's in less than 10 years.
Really good accomplishment.
Yeah, so congratulations. So they beat it by about like $10 million, and it's not stopping now. So it's going to keep going.
It's still going.
Still going. So congratulations. Strong. Very cool. Very deserved. So Monday, October 2nd, will be the third season premiere of DC's Lucifer on Fox at 8, which is interesting. But what's extra interesting is premiering after it on Fox is Marvel's The Gifted. So I think that's kind of interesting that Marvel and DC will have a show on at the same time. Or like the same day on the same channel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Have you seen The Crossing?
I have not heard of that one.
Someone just asked, how do we think about The Crossing?
I have not seen it yet. What do you think of it? One. Do we like it? Don't even know what it's about. We'll have to check it out.
I don't even know. I've never heard of that one yet.
So we have two movies that have gotten their official titles. We have Jurassic World, the sequel, will now be titled Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And that, of course, comes out June 22nd of next year. And the 8th Saw movie, coming out October 27th of this year, is going to be called Jigsaw. Have you watch any of those?
Yeah.
Do you know what that's in reference to?
Nah, they kind of lost me.
Jigsaw is the killer.
Yeah, I did know that.
So they're naming after him.
Right, okay. I did
after his character.
But they kind of lost me a few movies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like those.
Movies ago. I mean, I like them too, but...
They're guilty pleasures, but the fifth one was super boring. Oh my god, super boring. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the fifth one's where it lost me.
Yeah, where the guy had to, like, stab his throat because he was drowning. So he stabbed his throat so he could breathe out of it.
No, I did not see that. That's not one I didn't see.
Hello.
I think that's where I stopped.
Not awesome. I like the way the last one ended, so...
That's meh. Exactly.
Yeah,
good job.
Exactly. That's what I think of it, too. Big shakeup with the Han Solo, the Star Wars prequel movie. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have dropped out due to creative differences as director. In their place is Ron Howard, so that will be interesting. I mean, honestly, like, did you have any thoughts when this came out?
Oh, which one are we doing?
With the Star Wars, with the Han Solo.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
I can't wait for the Han Solo version.
Yes, Opie is for sure going to be the director of it. So I don't think Andy Griffith's going to be there, though. But I'm actually okay with it. I remember when Edgar Wright left Ant-Man, everyone was freaking out because they're like, oh, it's going to suck now. But Ant-Man was awesome. Do you see Ant-Man?
Someone just said that they don't want the
Han Solo.
A lot
of people don't want a Han Solo
because they don't want the character to...
No. And origin stories usually kind of like, you don't need to explain it. It's better to be like...
I like that stuff, though.
It depends. It depends for me. When you have to go back and explain something, it's
kind of hard.
It's really hard. You have to hit it out of the park.
Do it very badly. I don't know.
Prison Break 5 kind of lost me, but I think it's more of a binge-worthy show, so I'm waiting for it to be on DVD, because I watched like 4 episodes. And
Baby Driver does look good.
Baby Driver looks
I want to
awesome.
see that. I want to definitely see Baby Driver.
But the point of me bringing up Edgar Wright is the fact that, like, Kevin Feige for Marvel is like the quality control guy. Yeah. So it's like they bring in these interesting directors to give their take, but they still want to keep it within the brand. Mm-hmm. And I think as long as... And they have Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars, so she's the quality control person. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to be protective of that, because it's like a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and you have certain things where if there's creative differences, it's okay for them to kind of move on. I would rather them move on and stick as long as the brand is good, you know. And I guess we'll see what happens when it comes out.
I'm looking forward to it, though.
It should be interesting.
Yeah.
So The Leftovers just finished.
Westworld 2, yes.
Westworld, I'm very interested
in
in
like
that.
Westworld.
So The Leftovers just finished, but already the creator Damon Lindelof is in early talks with HBO to develop an adaptation of the comic book series Watchmen as a actual TV series.
Yeah.
So
is it going to be X-rated?
I don't think Dr. Manhattan's dong is... Well, it's HBO, so I'm sure his dong will be, like, all over the place.
It was too much dong for me.
Seriously.
It was...
Just remember, when you're at work, if you think you're having a bad day, just think there was a guy whose job was to CGI Dr. Manhattan's dong.
Yeah, that was his...
Every day
that's all
for
his job
months.
was.
He's like, is this anatomically correct with Billy Kudrup? Billy, can you take your pants off? I need to be accurate on this. I'm a professional in my job. Don't argue with me, Billy. Take your pants off. You're supposed to be a professional.
I was offended.
Were you offended?
Yes. Totally.
I just wish I hadn't seen it in IMAX, because I'm like, that's bigger than I am tall.
They showed it so many times.
Yeah.
It was just...
Like, so much.
You know, one or two or three, you know...
I don't need to see that. I'm not a urologist. I don't need to see that up close in my face.
And blue. I mean, it's just like...
That was what you were worried about? You're like, if it was flesh tone, I would have been fine with it, but it's blue, and that's just sensory overload.
It's just weird across the board, I thought. They need to keep that out. Let's keep that out.
Maybe keep from, like, the waist up with Dr. Manhattan. I would be okay with that. Definitely.
Oh, shit.
Moving on. All right, so... Avatar sequels officially start production in September. It's only been like 5,000 years since they announced all these sequels, so they're finally doing it. I love the first Avatar. I'm concerned because I don't care at all about the sequels. So it's like, if I love Avatar and I don't care,
yeah,
I don't know, it's just been too long. And there's going to be 5. Avatar 2 doesn't come out until December 18th of 2020. The third one doesn't come out until 2021. The fourth, 2024, so then 3 years later. And then Avatar 5 comes out in 2025. That's 8 years away.
Too long. They're going to lose their audience, obviously.
Who cares? So apparently they're all going to be standalone movies that all... Thank you. Apparently they're going to be all standalone movies that kind of like create like a whole story, but like they're standalone. So we'll see.
It's going to be in a long time, we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time. So, exactly. I think I'm going to be able to get an AARP discount by the time those come out. Be like,
I know.
For my early bird special.
Just don't think of your age by the time those things are going to come out. That's not good.
Don't do it.
Very depressing.
Good. Not good. So, moving on. So, the Sherlock writers for the BBC show are reteaming with Sue Vertu for the Heartwood films, for a new miniseries based on the Bram Stoker's Draculas. So that should be interesting. We both love the Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Oh, yeah.
With Keanu.
That was amazing movie. I loved it.
And with Gary Cole. So it was pretty awesome. Not Gary Cole. Who am I thinking of? Anyway, so the dude from the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, you don't know about the Dracula TV series?
Dracula Untold is pretty terrible.
Again, they could slaughter it.
They could, but it's the same guys from Sherlock, so it's gonna be dry and pithy.
It should be good,
and it's BBC, so we'll see.
Because again, they're taking a iconic movie and
iconic story.
Hopefully, do it justice.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So coming up in Supernatural's 13th season that's coming out. That show is still going on. They're going to have a backdoor pilot, which means basically one of the episodes.
What did you say before? They'll just continue to make that as long as the actors.
Yeah. So the head of the network said as long as the two guys want to do Supernatural, they will always do it. So, thank you. I'm glad you like the tweets. But the 13th season is going to have a backdoor pilot, which means one of the episodes of the season is going to be like a sort of pilot for Wayward Sisters, starring Kim Rhodes, where she plays the Sheriff Jody Mills, and a group of troubled young women, all of them orphaned by supernatural tragedy. Under Mills' training and protection, the women will emerge as a supreme monster-fighting force. So it's like Supernatural ladies. which
It's good.
yeah, it's about time they come up with a spin-off or something. Because my beef with the show is it's just the two guys.
Right.
And there's only, and every time there's like cool supporting characters, they like kill them off. And it's like either keep them
There's
or
not
whatever.
a lot of draw for us.
So basically the end of every season has had either Dean or Sam be killed, and then the other one, the start of the season is the whatever surviving one bereaved, and then the other one magically is back alive. To the point where Bobby, who was like their father figure, when he died, I just assumed he'd come back because the other two would come back all the friggin' time. And then when he was really, really dead, it was like, oh. You know, it's just there's no stakes when people just keep kind of coming back alive.
Yeah.
So it's about time they've expanded that world in its 13th season. Holy crap. That's a lot of seasons. So, Daniel Day-Lewis has announced this week that after his next role that he just did in the Paul Thomas Anderson project coming out on Christmas, after that he is retiring. Which to my question is, if he didn't announce it, would anybody realize? Like, would anyone...
I know, it's one every 5 years or so.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything since Lincoln. Yeah. So, like, if he didn't announce it, I'd be like, all right. So,
Yeah, it's his second retirement.
Yeah, seriously. He retires all the time. That's fine.
a good call.
Star Trek Discovery has finally announced a start date for their CBS All Access TV show. The season's going to be split up in 2 parts because they've had production problems. And it's been pushed back so many times, so it's going to give them time in between to like work on production and things like that.
Right.
So it debuts Sunday, September 24th, at a special broadcast premiere on actual CBS, the main network, airing from 8:30 to 9:30, which is interesting. It would be like 8 to 9, but I digress. The first as well as the second episode will immediately be available on their on-demand channel. And so basically it's going to be about 13 to 15 episodes a season, like I said, split up. So thank you for joining us from Italy. We'll see you next time. These will be available on our Twitter, so definitely check us out.
From Brazil, too. Hi from Brazil.
Do we think it's going to be a hit? I don't know. We'll see. No, the Star Trek. Star Trek, the Discovery. I don't know if it'll be a hit. I think it depends it's their streaming, so it's not going to get as many views as the network.
Right.
But I think it just depends. They really want this property to work. So, and the fact that they've gotten rid of showrunners, production, I mean, it's been postponed for a year. I think they're going to keep it going if it doesn't work, it's strictly like they're going broke on it, basically. I mean, it's just losing so much money because they really want this to happen. So, I guess we'll see. I don't know. It depends on what the metric of their on-demand channel is.
Yeah, The Next Generation was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, that was fine. I like that one, Picard.
Yeah, that was great.
So, Dazzler has officially been announced to be in the X-Men Dark Phoenix. So, they've hinted at it in the last 2 movies. Well, technically, the last movie, it was in a deleted scene. But she's coming in. Now, do you know much about Dazzler?
It was dazzling.
I did not, so I looked it up. She was introduced in 1980 in the Uncanny X-Men 130. So if you have Marvel Unlimited, check that out. You'll see Dazzler there. She's a mutant who can convert sound vibrations into light and energy beams, an ability she utilized in her career as a singer. That's super convenient. It's just like, luckily, my job skill gave me
she's singing, she shoots lasers?
Well, she shoots like vibrations.
And what are the vibrations for?
To fight crime. I don't know. I don't know. To be dazzling.
In case people are booing her?
Probably. Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't heckle me.
Don't heckle me, and she shoots like vibrations at them. I don't know.
So on the last little bit of news we need to talk about before we get into cancellations and box office is Elle this week came out with a very frustrating and misleading article claiming that Gal Gadot only made $300,000 for Wonder Woman, whereas Henry Cavill made $14 million for Man of Steel. Now, this is not at all accurate.
False news.
Even remotely. I do want to specify, and this is why this is frustrating, there is a gender wage gap in Hollywood, as there is in the entire United States. So it hurts the cause if you're going to make stuff up to be like, see, there's problems. Now, exactly, Felix. A lot of it has to do with back-end returns. Now, Henry Cavill didn't even make $14 million total with back-end returns for Man of Steel. There's potential if the films he signed up for through Justice League 2 or whenever his contract expires, there's potential if they do well and if they make enough profit, he could make $14 million, but that's speculation. He sure as heck has not made that in the 2 movies he's been in. So it's very frustrating. And on the flip side...
we agree.
Yeah, we totally agree.
Definitely agree.
On the flip side, Chris Hemsworth in the first Thor only made $150,000. Now, I say only, but compared to Gal Gadot's $300,000. Yeah, and you know what? And Wonder Woman has made over $600 million. Once again, it's the number 1 female-directed film. Now, she will make money off of the back-end participation. And different stars have made different amounts, but usually it's in that like lower 6 figures for their first standalone superhero movie. Yeah. So granted, like Robert Downey Jr. for his 3 days of shooting on Spider-Man: Homecoming made $15 million. He made $5 million a day.
Oh my god!
But conversely, in the first Iron Man movie, Terrence Howard actually made more money than Robert because at the time Robert wasn't. He wasn't as big. Like, he wasn't as known. He was kind of a liability because of his drug problem. They weren't really sure if he was going to stay clean. So, but...
Yeah, he turned that around.
Oh, he totally did. That movie saved his career, and he showed that he was serious about it. So, it was his second return. He's like, seriously, guys, this time I'm good. So, let's be very careful to, when you talk about wage gaps... be honest about it, because I don't want the whole boy cried wolf thing where just because this is easily disproven, you have people who might not really know that there's a wage gap problem and they're going to see this, and so if they hear anything moving down the line, they're going to be like, oh, that's a lie. So it's really important. Exactly. Woman who cried wolf. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sexist. So let's be accurate about it. Talk about other things. Like, talk about Gillian Anderson in the X-Files, the limited series edition that came out. In X-Files, she always got paid less than David Duchovny. She always did. And when they asked her to come back for the new, the event series that came out, she said, of course, like, she loved it. Until she found out that she was offered half of what David Duchovny got. And then she's like, for the same thing. And she was on X-Files longer than he was. He was gone for a while.
Right.
So, she's like, no. Like, we're going to get paid the same or else I'm not doing it. So talk about that when you want to talk about wage gaps. Be very careful because it is an issue. And I don't want the fake stuff to overshadow the real stuff and then have people be like, it's not a problem.
It is a problem with the internet, though. Half the time you have to,
so much stuff for just
research
clicks.
it and just see if it's fake or not.
So we wanted to talk about it.
Just cluttered with fake.
Yeah. So you know what? If your argument's really strong, there's no need to use fake facts.
Yeah.
Unless you aren't really sure of your position. Right. So anyway, that's our soapbox for the day.
Yeah.
Just so yeah. Okay, so now cancellations. We only have a couple because it's summertime.
I hope X-Files is returning.
It is. It is returning. X-Files is returning for another series. Very excited about that. Very excited.
Well, I know there was news that Gillian Anderson wasn't going to...
Oh, she's coming back.
She wasn't... Well, for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't know. Well, because she has multiple shows she does. She didn't need this.
Yeah,
that was the extra insulting
Netflix
thing.
Show. Mm-hmm. What was the Netflix
The Return or something?
No. I forget what it was called.
I don't remember what it was
Guys,
called.
do you remember?
But it's really good.
The Gillian Anderson Netflix.
Was it The Return?
That she did right in between.
Uh-huh.
Well.
Yeah, it was a.
That's why the X-Files got delayed.
Right. Yeah, because she's been freaking busy. So it's insulting to be like, hey, I know you're super busy, but you want to make half as much as the person that's going to share equal screen time? Cool. Screw you guys. Like, that's insane.
It was good, though. I liked it. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, it's a very good show. So 3 different cancellations, like I said, it's summertime. So Downward Dog on ABC got canceled, but they're talking about potentially shopping that around. What's not going to be shopped around and actually burned off this summer is Shondaland's Still Star-Crossed. It was on Monday, but it did so poorly that starting Starting July 8th, they're moving it to Saturdays, which is a burn-off day in the summer. It's a burn-off day during the regular season, but in the summer it's even worse. So that's gone. Netflix has canceled Girl Boss after one season, which really everybody involved, is kind of just hearing their reaction to it. There's some shows like Downward Dog where they're going to be shopping that around, but with Girl Boss, everyone's just like, okay, ready to move on anyway. Boss Baby I haven't seen, but I love Alec Baldwin, so I think it should be funny. All right, now moving on to the box office report. Coming in at number 1, we have good news and bad news for this, is Transformers The Last Night, where in the first 5 days it made $69.1 million over the 5 days, and over the weekend, $43.3 million. Now, unfortunately, that's the lowest domestic grossing opening of the franchise. So the last one, I think, made over $100 million in its 5 days. However, in the international box office, it's done better than any of them. They've all grown internationally. And really, you look at Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Cars 3, a lot of that stuff. It's most of its business overseas.
Oh, look at that one. Transformers needs to end.
It's not gonna. Guess what? It has an extended universe coming out. Yeah. So now in the Middle Kingdom,
Transformers with them.
In the Middle Kingdom, it made $123.4 million. So it made the bulk of its international money there, but overall it was $196.2 million. Now Age of Extinction was like $7 million less than that, so it's growing. So worldwide, it made $265 million. But men under 25 gave it 80% in post-track, and under 18 gave it a cinema score of an A, and that was on Wednesday. So, all right, Felix, you and I are going to have to disagree, because I saw Transformers. I saw Transformers on Friday, and I enjoyed it. You know what? It's talking robots, and if anybody remembers the 80s cartoon, it was garbage. So I actually really enjoyed this, and Anthony Hopkins, I thought, was surprisingly the best part. He was hilarious. I wasn't roofied. I actually watched it. Sober. Try it sometime, Felix. Try it sometime.
Oh, man.
So I enjoyed it. It was different. It was overly long, but I liked it. So, yeah, and I would love to have Beast Machines. So that would be very cool. So number 2 coming in is Wonder Woman. Now, so both Wonder Woman and Cars 3 both reported 25.175 million. They both reported that. So the final numbers tomorrow will be more accurate. But industry is saying Wonder Woman came in second at 25.05 million with 318 million over the last 4 weeks. So once again, highest grossing female-directed film of all time.
Right.
Cars 3 they have in third place. And Wonder Woman only dropped 39% in its fourth weekend, so it's holding really well. Meanwhile, Cars 3 in its second weekend dropped 53%, which I'm not surprised because that audience will come out mostly the first weekend.
Yeah.
Industry saying 24.6 million with a 2 weeks just shy of 100 million, 99.9 million. Coming in at number 4. 47 Meters Down, who actually added theaters this week in its second week, at 7.4 million. Overall, 24.2. Now, this is a really cheap shark movie, really cheap, so it's going to turn a profit, but so 24.4 is fine. Coming in at number 5, All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic at 5.85 million. That dropped 78%. So I think with 50 Cent and Jada Pinkett Smith talking crap about it this week, probably.
And the Big
really
Sick
hurt.
wasn't on this
It isn't, but I have it in notable.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
Now I have a notable The Big Sick, which is I'm looking forward to seeing that. You saw it.
I saw it. Yeah.
And you really liked it.
Yesterday. Yeah, it was really good.
That
Guys, go see that. It's good.
That gets the prize for the biggest per screen average of the year. So it premiered in 5 theaters and made $435,000 this weekend. Its per screen average was $87,000 per screen.
Wow.
That's
great.
Insane.
Well, it makes sense because when we went to see it, it was pretty much sold out. We were like 3 rows back, and we even had to push one more screen time.
Because that was only in like
seat,
one or two theaters in LA. Yeah.
But a lot of people went to see that, so it was good. The script was great. Comedy was great. Really dry humor.
And it's based on the writer and the star's actual love story.
It was actually his life that he was writing about, and it's a pretty interesting story.
Yes, I do like dogs. Dogs are like the best thing ever created. So
we have our mascot, right?
Yeah, we have a couple dogs chilling with us.
Mascots.
So you might hear barking. So that's all I have for the news. So let's get into live action comics. What are we talking about?
So let's just reiterate about
Fast and the Furious 9 coming out in 2 years ish, but they're also making a spin-off. They're developing it for The Rock and Jason Statham's characters together. Yeah. So that's the update with Fast and Furious 9. Yeah. They have scheduled 9 and 10 along with that spin-off that might be a trilogy. So there you go.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the free stuff that we have online.
Hi, UK. Thank you for joining us.
UK, nice.
Awesome. Very cool.
All over the world now. That's good.
Seriously, dogs are the best thing ever. So they're the best things ever invented. So.
Okay, so remember, if you have not downloaded your free copy of Element X issue 1, go on to liveactioncomics.com. Go to the store. Exactly. You owe me a Coke. Go to the store and go to comics, and then go to the first Element X and enter promo code FREE.
Mm-hmm. Put in all your information, and then you'll get a free digital copy of the first issue of Element X.
Free digital copy, and we want you to see what live action comics is, and our process and everything like that. So that's a perfect way for you guys to see it by reading the first comic. And we're going to release slowly the new ones coming out. We have 2 other ones shot, and we're ready to release them anytime now. But we want you guys to read the first one and give us some feedback.
Yeah, let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, let us know. And so again, Live Action Comics.
Oh, thank you. It says excellent. That's awesome.
Live Action Comics it's a comic book with real
Hi, Felix.
actors.
Thank you for joining.
Real actors, props, locations, special effects. It's a new thing. We're really enjoying showing everybody, and we're Noah's branching out, helping branch out the storyline, and he's done a great job. And if you watch some of our previous episodes, we talked to Noah about writing the script Element X, so you can review those.
Because I wrote the pilot for TV,
and
he helped him develop the TV series.
And we're in the process of negotiating TV right now, so
it's
hopefully
a long process. So it's going to be a while.
It's been about a year, and it takes a long time for this.
It
stuff,
does.
guys.
There's a lot of hurry up and wait in Hollywood.
So as of now, we're just developing content in the comic book world of it, and then extending in the TV. So, and Noah's done a great job with that. And
also, make sure to subscribe to the Live Action Comics YouTube page.
Right.
So, hi. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll put the link to the YouTube under here.
Well, yeah, we'll attach it to this stream on Twitter. But if once we hit 100, which we're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Once we hit 100, one of the subscribers is gonna win a care package of a bunch of DC and Marvel comics, and along with a signed poster for Element X. So you're gonna win some cool stuff that'll be shipped to you. So make sure to sign up, and then once we hit 100, the winner will be notified, and we will send you out some really cool stuff. We have a lot of awesome comics.
And 1,000 subscribers, we're going to send. We'll do the same thing for a comic book sign. One of the original comic books.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining us. What else do we want to talk about?
I don't have too much today.
We have a lot of stuff. Every week we're going to be kind of talking about different things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's really cool to, have you guys interact with us, and we've been really surprised in how many people are watching this and really liking it. We're loving your comments. Follow this dude on Twitter. What are all your accounts?
So I have my personal account is I'm Todd Christian on Twitter, and then Live Action Comic on here, and then I'm Element X is the private one for the comic series. And he's the Noah Kinsey.
I'm the Noah Kinsey. Which, if you're watching this on my Twitter, hi. And you'll see that I'm there.
Yeah, and I also posted it on my other account. So
hey, what's up, Switzerland? Thank you for joining us. Very excited to have you here.
So you can follow both of us on either account. Just click on it, and it shows who's tagged, and you can.
And you can see all the back episodes either on our Twitter or on the YouTube channel for Live Action Comics. You can see all of them. Normally, you have them split up into 2 parts. If the second part is like super long or whatever, we kind of have that separated. Right. But we have all of those together on YouTube. Yeah. So definitely check that out. So we're currently in Los Angeles, California. So thank you for joining us from Switzerland. It's very cool.
Yeah, Switzerland? Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. So we're getting all these European countries, which is really cool, really exciting. Yeah. So I'm glad you do. So
yeah. And I just want to end on a positive note, basically, guys.
Because we've been so negative so far.
So negative. But I just wanted to talk about accomplishing goals. Just freaking do it. That's all that anyone that's been successful has ever done. Yeah. Just don't hold back on your goals. Just literally just do it. Even if you don't have the money for it, just don't let negative things hold you back on it. Just somehow make it happen. Mm-hmm. You know, even if it's you don't have a dime to your name and you want to make a TV pilot, shoot it on your cell phone. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
There's so much technology out there right now that it's never been cheaper to create some work concept.
YouTube is free. Everything is. There's so many outlets that are free right now, and everyone lets themselves get held back by, money and all this kind of stuff. There are workarounds. If you're, human beings, we're very intelligent. We have abilities we have no idea about. So if you just concentrate and think about things and
make an action plan.
Yeah, because all action.
We've talked about this before. Both of us have worked with people where they talk a big game, and they kind of it's almost like they're they articulate their dream, and then with us, we're people who like if we're talking about wanting to do something, we're planning on doing it, and we're going to work towards that. And then with these people, they've been like, oh, that's pretty much all they wanted to do is kind of talk about it. There's a million reasons, I don't want to say excuses. There are millions of reasons people have that they feel that they can't pursue something. Right. Where, find ways to do what you want to do. I mean, Live Action Comics, he wanted to make a comic book series, but he didn't know how to draw that well. And making drawing people is super friggin' expensive. Where what he did,
$15,000 per comic book, and when I was first starting, I didn't know how to do it. I was like, how am I going to pay $15,000? I just moved to Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I barely had a job, so how do you do that? So you come up with some creative thinking, and that's how I created Live Action Comics. It happened organically.
And it stands out,
It's different. It's something new.
So he found a workaround, but he also found a way to make it stand out and make it unique and make it something that has garnered attention.
And don't be afraid to let it take a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff takes forever.
Okay, Jack.
But if you start with small goals and keep working and working and working at it, those little short-term goals will escalate to the bigger goal. So, I mean, it's just a matter of doing it every day, working on yourself every day, making yourself better, and it will show in the future. It will. It will.
Yep.
And,
it's a good note to end on.
Yeah. Positive note.
Yes.
Even though we were positive the whole time.
So thank you guys again so much for joining us this week. We'll be back next Sunday with another episode of SuperCast. And remember, subscribe on YouTube. You can win some really cool stuff. Second Element X is being worked on. Thank you so much. So glad that you liked it.
It's done. I mean, we're just waiting to have as many people read the first one as possible. So. Yeah. The new website was just launched, so
liveactioncomics.com.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out.
So we just launched last month. Yeah. So getting some people the opportunity to read that and then
kind of having it snowball from there.
It will come out very soon, put it that way. It's done. It's just ready.
We'll always give you updates on this show, which, even though it's live on Sundays, hey, Brazil! Awesome, very cool. Awesome, someone from South America joined us. Yeah. So glad that you're here. So thank you so much. Even though we're live on Sundays, you can find on our Twitter and YouTube, you can find us all week there. You can check it out. But other than that, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.